And one thing that you don't want to do when it comes to buns is burn them. You like these segues today? A little silly, but hey, whatever works. So today in our video, we are talking about sunscreen because I know if you are headed out of town for Memorial Day or summer vacation or 4th of July or wherever your summer travels may take you, sunscreen better be on the top of your shopping list. For me, sunscreen is a year-round purchase. We'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to do a video to really highlight everything you need to know about SPF. I'm gonna touch a little bit on some SPF education on the front end of this video, and then for the rest of the video, I'm gonna talk about 4 different categories of sunscreen and the 4 different types you need to have in your travel bag, in your suitcase, if you're headed somewhere sunny. Why am I winking today so much? Okay. So first off the bat, let's discuss some SPF, just like education, shall we? Sunscreen is something you need to wear year-round, ladies. I have spent a lot of time and money reversing the damage that I did from the sun in my teens and 20s. I was the girl that would rub baby oil all over my body. I wouldn't even, if someone handed me sunscreen, I was like, no, we're fine. You're fine, it's fine. I wanted to look like a bronze, glowy goddess. To me, having a bronze glow and a bronze tan was equal to like just being pretty. I don't know why I always had that in my head. It was like if you can't tone it, tan it. So if I'm gonna have like cellulite, at least like tan cellulite is better than like pale cellulite. I've spent so much time reversing that. And so if you're watching this and you haven't gotten to that point in your life, just please do me a favor and wear sunscreen every day. There are so many foundations that have sunscreen in them. I just did a blog post about that. So you can read that, all your different options from full coverage to tinted moisturizer and everything in between and a bunch of different price points. So there's really no excuse not to protect your skin. May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. My mother back in 2012 had reconstructive skin surgery on her nose where half of her nose was removed because it was so badly damaged from her 50 years of life in the sun. They had to slice off half of her nose and replace it from other areas of skin on her body. It was about an 8-week reconstructive process and journey for her. Luckily, she's like skin cancer free now, but that's not something in your 50s that you ever want to have to deal with. I know if she could, turn back time, she would have handled her journey and her life and her time spent in the sun so much differently, and she does now. So this is something that's not just a vanity project for me, but it's also something that really speaks to me and speaks to just being on the front end of being proactive when it comes to taking care of my body and my wellness. I got that tangent out of the way. Now we can move on to the good stuff, shall we? So one thing I think is also really important to know about sunscreen is the number that you see on the front of a bottle, whether it's 15, 40, 30, 50, that number does not equal how many minutes you can spend in the sun. That is just the level of sunscreen protection as cleared by the FDA in that particular product. I don't typically gravitate towards drugstore sunscreens. It goes into chemicals that are in drugstore products. A lot of them are oil-based, and I don't want to be putting tons of gross chemically loaded oils, mousses, and lotions on my body. I have found a handful of brands that I personally love. Obviously, there are some other great products out there that you can find at a drugstore. These are the ones that have worked best for me and my skin without clogging my pores and coming home from vacation and seeing basically heat rashes and irritation from using sunscreen. I'm gonna break today's sunscreen options into 4 categories. So it's sunscreen for the face, sunscreen for the body, travel size sunscreen, and the last category is going to be sunscreen products that replace other products in your beauty regimen, and I'll explain those more when I get to them. Now let's start with sunscreen for the face. As I mentioned earlier, I wear sunscreen every single day. It goes into my beauty regimen every single morning. The product I use is the Elta MD SPF 40. This is what I wear if I'm not putting on makeup. Running errands, we go on walks with the dogs a lot. If I'm at the pool, anything where I'm not wearing makeup, this is my option. This product I want to say runs in like $30 price point. I was initially introduced to this after I got my first profractional laser. My doctor was like, after a laser, your skin is so much more susceptible to sun damage and UV rays because it's new baby fresh skin that's coming out. So you need to be using one that's dermatologist recommended, and this checked that category. I buy this on Amazon, or a lot of dermatology offices have it. Another great option if you're a SkinCeuticals fan is their sheer physical UV defense, and this is SPF 50. I don't love this product as much because I think has more of a white residue and I feel like my face looks white. Whereas this one I think is more like sheer and lightweight. Also, the Ulta one has hyaluronic acid. So that's why I like this one. So typically I let my boyfriend use the SkinCeuticals one and I use this one. SkinCeuticals I also think is a great one for like the top of your hands or like the back of your ears. I've also found that neither of those break out my skin if I leave them on all day long. Those are my two favorites for the face. Next, let's talk about sunscreen for the body. These are the ones I love and that I take on vacation. SkinCeuticals, this is their body sunscreen. It has SPF 50. This one does not come in a travel size, which is why I don't take it a lot with me when I travel because most of the time if I'm headed to the beach, I'm carry-on only. I am going to Mexico this summer for 7-8 days and I'm going to Italy for 2 weeks. So I'm checking bags. So this will go with me there. Two other products that are full size for the body. One is the Supergoop Mousse in SPF 50. My boyfriend loves this because he can like see exactly where it's going and it doesn't make a massive mess. It's real fluffy and thin, so it's not like this like creamy disaster. So if you are like fighting with a man in your life who doesn't like wearing sunscreen, this is a really great option. This is kind of a game changer for me. This is the Supergoop Oil. Also SPF 50. You're thinking oil, isn't that gonna make me burn? No, it's not. So for someone like me who loves the feeling of like putting on oil, it brings back so many happy childhood memories. I just like that oily look when I'm poolside or on the beach. You still get that oily glow, but you're being protected by an SPF 50. And then one more, if you're more of just like a straight up lotion for the body, is the Supergoop Everyday Sunscreen SPF 50. So now let's get to travel size sunscreen. So like I mentioned, I'm a carry-on girl, 3.4 ounces or less. The thing I love about Supergoop also is this sounds like this is sponsored by Supergoop, but it's really not. I would have to disclose that legally. So thanks Supergoop just for like having a great fan and a great product. I'm obsessed with you. So because I am a carry-on girl, 3.4 ounces or less, I'm not gonna fall in love with a full-size product and then be pissed off when it doesn't come in a travel size. Supergoop's been that solution for me. Now the sunscreen mousse, I don't have one of those on hand. I need to stock up on them, but it also comes in travel size. If you like the Supergoop oil, it also comes in a travel size. Another product is the setting mist. When I go on vacation, I don't use this as a setting mist. I put this in a bucket of ice next to my chair at the pool or on the beach. And then when I get out of the beach or the water, I spritz, 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 spritz. It comes out cold and this has SPF 50 in it. So it's a great way to just like, if you think you've maybe sweat off some stuff or you just want like a cool, refreshing feeling. It smells like a spa. It has like a eucalyptus mint thing happening and I'm a huge fan of it. But you can also, if you're a setting spray girl, also use it as a setting spray. And then another great product that I recently fell in love with is the Glow Stick. So this is great, I think, for kids. It really just goes on clear and you can pull your kids in, reel them in, and just draw on them like this. It's like a big old crayon. So that's another great option from Supergoop with SPF 50. But once again, I've fallen in love with their products because having the travel size option is so important to me. Now the final category of today's video is products that have SPF in them that might replace other products you're currently using. One of them is the Daily Moisturizer by Supergoop. This has an SPF 40, so if you're a girl that is putting on a moisturizer and looking for a moisturizer every morning to put on before your makeup, this is one that is not only a face moisturizer, but it's also a sunscreen. It's not just a sunscreen. This is a really just beautiful, simple, easy product. It's kind of like a one and done in the morning. Next up is their Unseen Sunscreen. I did a blog post about this about a year ago. This has SPF 40 and you will see this goes on in a velvety matte finish. So consider this your makeup primer. This would replace whatever other current makeup primer you're using, but it has ding 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 SPF 40. Another product that I just touched on was the setting mist. So this is by Supergoop. It has SPF 50, but when I finish my makeup, boom, 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 set my makeup, also get another layer of sunscreen. Great for touch-ups throughout the day. And then the last thing is a lip balm. This one has SPF 30. So I have a personal story for this real quickly. Last summer, I was out on a boat one day and I wore like my favorite lip gloss that was just like shimmery and cute. The next morning I woke up and my lips were fried because that gloss had attracted the sun all day long on a boat. I never will make that mistake ever again because not only did they crack and peel and it was so disgusting, but it was so painful. So now what I do is I put on this first on my lips and then I put my gloss on top of it. So if you still want it, like you don't want to sacrifice the lipstick or the gloss, you don't have to. Just use this as like a lip primer. This also works great, like have your boyfriend or your husband or your kids use this in place of their chapstick because it is gonna have an SPF 30. So there you have it. I'm just a big wealth of sunscreen knowledge, kinda, sorta. Hey, I'm just sharing my experience and what's important to me in hopes that I can maybe help prevent you from having to reverse negative skin damage or, fingers crossed, hopefully not, any type of skin cancer in the future. Like I said, this is something that's really important to me, and it's not just a vain thing, it's really just about keeping my skin safe and protected. I hope this was helpful to you. 90% of these products are available at places like Sephora and Nordstrom, so they're really easy for you to get your hands on before you head out on vacation. And as usual, all the products are linked below so you can shop them right here or head over to currently.com for the full blog post and so much more skincare knowledge over there. I'll see you next time.